Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. This time out we have some information from New York Toy Fair 2020, some of the news we were expecting and also a little bit that we weren't expecting. So while the anniversary ended up being somewhat disappointing because there was no news, we did actually get some from Toy Fair this year. So let's jump in with the, I suppose, most simple piece of information first, and that is just that we have some pictures of the Legend of Korra Funko Pops in like physical for the first time, because of course when these were first revealed we saw them in their sort of render form for the first time, so it was just like a CG model of what they'd look like and not an actual, you know, physical version. I still believe these are likely probably still like painted prototypes rather than like what the finalized version will be, but you know, who knows, it could be exactly what it is. But the main reason I say that probably is the case is that most of the time on the Avatar figures, when there is an effect part for bending, it's a transparent piece of plastic rather than a painted piece of plastic. So that's why I say it's probably just a prototype here, just to get the idea at the show. So first up here is the standard Korra. I don't think the exclusive is at the show, or I haven't seen any pictures of it yet. This was one I was really hyped about when it was first announced. They went all out on it, like multiple effect parts. It's book 1 Korra, so it has every element except air. And I still continue to think it looks really, really good, seeing it in person here and all the kind of paint apps. So to me, very, very, very positive on that. I actually pre-ordered the full wave of Korra Funkos already, so I'm just looking forward to seeing them arrive. Next up is Amon, who again, like the renders, still looks very good in person here. The main thing I was wondering was like how they do sort of like the edges of the hood, the kind of shadowed areas of the mask. But I think seeing it here, it looks really, really good. It does get across the idea that those other areas are just, you know, you can't see them because it's under the hood. Just nice detail. Glad they're doing an Amon Funko for sure. Next up, I suppose one picture to show off Asami and Mako. Definitely the two kind of most plain of the wave, but again, the details are good. They look nice in person, seeing the colors of them realized and stuff like that. Again, this is where I assume Mako, the fire in his hand, will probably be transparent when the finalized version comes out. But you know, that's really all there is to say. The detail is good, and I'm just excited to get some Korra Funkos. Again, I think the main thing here is just like, you know, we didn't get any announcement of new Funkos, and like everyone's wondering like, where's Bolin? Why haven't you announced Bolin or Tenzin or Lin or anyone? They seem to go fairly light on this first wave, but hopefully there's something more coming. I suppose a little bit of like the exclusive sort of being book 2 Korra is maybe a little telling as to like maybe there is a second wave coming later that will be revealed somewhere else, but we'll see for sure. So we'll get into, I suppose, what we've been waiting for, the kind of news that we knew we were going to get at Toy Fair, and that is that they were going to reveal, Diamond Select were going to reveal what wave 2 and wave 3 of the Diamond Select figures was, and that's exactly what we got. So 6 figures here, 6 new figures revealed here. As far as I'm aware right now, we don't know exactly which figure is in which wave. It's just 6 of them in this case, and we have some pictures of them. That's really all there is. There's no text details about them just yet. Again, the Toy Fair is going on over the course of the entire weekend, so there's time for us to get extra information. But right now, the focus is on the visual. So we'll start off here with the first picture, which is Sokka. So absolutely expected we were going to get a Sokka. We got Aang, we got Katara, we got Zuko. You had to have a Sokka at some point. So here he is. And in general, I really like the look of him. I think the body and the details of like the outfit, the colors, the kind of like armor in a way on his like the armor on his boots and stuff like that, works really nicely done. Like they got the colors spot on, and it's very detailed. Accessory is the boomerang, and it doesn't seem like there's anything else, but again, maybe it's just the pictures that it doesn't get that across. But you know, I'd hope Sokka comes with something else, like his club or something like that. It does look like book 1 Sokka, so we'll see how they go. The other thing though here with Sokka is the face, to me, looks off. It doesn't really look like Sokka to me, or at the very least, whatever they based the sculpt here of this specific expression off, whatever source material they used, they chose a very odd shot, in my opinion, because it doesn't really feel like it is the animation style. It feels like some weird like attempt to blend the animation style into like real life, and not just like making it a 3D figure. It like, because the animation came across with the other figures that we've seen so far. This just feels weird. So I really hope that either there is another sculpt that they're waiting to reveal or something like that, or that they really go back and do some work on this before release, because I don't really like that as like the face for Sokka that we have so far. It just doesn't really look like him all that much, in my opinion, anyway. It's kind of weird, like we've been waiting for merchandise for so long. I was kind of wondering if this would happen. Like, would we have one of those weird, we get a weird looking action figure sculpt for Avatar? And to me, we got it here with this Sokka. Perfect outside of the head sculpt in my mind. Next up is Avatar State Aang from Sozin's Comet. And it's interesting that there seems to be a little bit of theme across 3 of these figures of them being set during the finale. This is very clearly Aang as he goes up against Ozai in the finale, because, you know, that's how he looked. So you have the blue arrows, and of course replaced with the Avatar State lights on arrows. The accessory looks like it is a effect part that probably plugs into his back, that's like meant to represent the kind of spirals of each element, the rotating kind of circle of each element that he has. And then also it looks like in the background, this figure also comes with a full splayed out book 3 glider. That's a very, very big accessory for this figure to come with. 2 quite big accessories there. So that's very interesting. And like I said, part of the reason I think they did him is because they chose to do Ozai also in his Sozin's Comet attire. So I think Ozai is definitely one of the better looking ones from this wave. I think, you know, it obviously, I suppose, helped in terms of maybe doing the sculpt that they didn't have the crazy Fire Lord robes to do, but this is Ozai when he's in action, and if they're doing an action figure, why not do him in this way? I can definitely see some people like maybe wanting Fire Lord Ozai in the Fire Lord robes type stuff, but I can see this. They did him this way to fit in with the Aang, and you're able to do that scene of the final battle. He is the overall end villain of the series. It made sense that he was going to be done at some point. I think the details are nice. They have a lot of the more minor details, like the bands that he has just above his biceps and stuff like that. The detail on his hair and the beard and stuff like that. It's really well done in my mind. The accessory looks like it is a replacement foot to get across the idea that he's sort of like boosting off the ground, like he's kind of floating through the air. So that's an interesting effect. I wonder, will he come with anything else, or maybe because he is an adult character and he's kind of bigger than everyone else, that might be why he doesn't come with much of an accessory. But that said, Sokka only comes with a small boomerang, seemingly. So I assume the accessories aren't for sure like confirmed yet, but anyway. So we move on. Another Aang. So 3 waves in, 9 figures, 3 Aangs. That's definitely a little bit of a problem, because everyone's issue with the original Avatar toy line that came out in like 2005, 2006 was that they just kept redoing the same characters over and over and over again. And there was so many Aangs, so many Zukos, so many Rokus, and they're kind of doing it again with Aang here. as an Aang fan, I don't mind too much because I think all three of the Aang figures are actually look really good. But it's not great for variety, of course. So yeah, we get book 1 Aang here. And again, look at all the accessories he comes with. Fully splayed out original glider, and then just the original glider in like normal staff form. He also seemingly comes with a Momo, and then a replacement kind of top section of his outfit to allow you to do more normal neutral poses, and then the one that he has on him is to do more kind of glider-esque poses as they show off here. That's crazy compared to like all of wave 1, where like, you know, the original Aang was the only figure that came with 2 accessories. So pretty interesting just to note that like there seems to be this sudden shift of like there's more accessories now for the characters. That's interesting. You know, R.I.P. Zuko's swords from the first wave, of course. The other thing here is the expression on Aang's face. Wide open, very kind of fun, expressive. I wonder, will you be able to swap heads? In that, like, could you put that head on the book 3 Aang from wave 1? Just to get the different expressions, like, will there be that level of like they being able to swap them across? Not really sure, but that would be cool if it was possible. You can definitely see on Aang's legs though, the effect of just putting so much articulation into a kind of like, you know, baggy outfit and stuff like that. It makes the leg look very weird with all the cuts and stuff like that, but you accept that because you want an articulated figure. But in my mind, really good wave 1 Aang. That's gonna go nicely with the wave 1 Katara, which is book 1 as well. I guess that means there's probably a high likelihood that like wave 4 or 5 will probably feature like book 1 Zuko and like book 3 Katara, and then they'll gradually bring in the other characters. But anyway, last two are probably 2 of the most hyped ones, of course. So we are going to get an Azula, and the thing I immediately noted was that like, okay, cool, they're doing Azula, but also it's Sozin's Comet Azula, because you can see there's a few hairs out of place, and that's like a quote from the show, and you know that this is that more manic Azula from towards the end of the series. So to me, that's an interesting decision to go for right at the end of the series Azula, rather than like the episode before with just her usual sort of look without the hairs being out of place. I would prefer, to me, I'd lean in the direction of doing just normal Azula, or if you want to do this specific one, you have it be like an extra head or something like that. Have it be like one of the accessories that you can choose to have, sort of composed Azula or like manic Azula, depending on what way you want to go. The sculpt here, on the head, I like it. I definitely need to see some more angles. I'm just a little worried that this might have the same kind of weirdness that I'm feeling about the Sokka look, but it might just be that like I'm not the biggest fan of them going for such a specific look on what's likely going to be like the only Azula within the first like 5-6 waves of this toy line, that they're not just going for the standard one. It's a very minor point, but like it's also like, why didn't you just do the normal Azula, the one people kind of would probably want? Accessory looks like it's the blue fire part here, of course you can see on the stand there, and then beyond that, like the body, the armor and stuff like that, really nicely done. The colors, the metallic paint applications, they have it really nicely done. It's a very nice, version of Azula, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited for it. I just do want to know, I'd love to know what the intent was behind doing the specific Azula. Again, it means that 3 of the 6 figures here are like Sozin's Comet inspired, which is to me quite interesting. But last figure, as we can see here, is Toph. So I think everyone predicted Sokka and Toph would get figures in the next 2 waves, and that is confirmed. So again, I think it's pretty much spot on, exactly what you would want from Toph, with one issue. And that is that, to me, and it might be just me here, but I think her head looks absolutely massive. Far too big for the size of her body here. And look, I get Toph is meant to be one of the smaller characters here, but it seems like the scaling between her head and her body is way off. Her head feels like it's probably like 15-20% too big. And I looked up some pictures. I just decided, like, am I just going crazy here, or is this off? And I just looked up some images of Toph from the show, and, like, yeah, sure enough, her head isn't that big compared to the rest of her body. So maybe it's just the angle on this. Maybe it's just me, but I really feel like it's way too big. Like, it's too wide, it's too tall, and that's not accounting for the fact, of course, that I'm aware that her hair makes her, her head seem quite large. I get it that, like, her hair actually goes up above her, like, the top of her actual head, but even still, just, basically her forehead to her chin seems really, really long compared to the rest of the body, because it's great otherwise. Like, the shade of green that they went for, the little gold details and accents, and it's exactly the Toph you want. It's just, I feel the head is super big compared to what it needs to be, which is why I assume they are prototypes. In that, like, I know Diamond Select going into this Toy Fair said that we'll for sure show off Wave 2 and, like, maybe Wave 3. So I'm guessing that, like, maybe the ones that seem a little off are maybe the Wave 3 ones, and maybe Toph is part of that. I don't know which one is which, but they're the 6 that we have. Toph, as you can see here, comes with this kind of ground-based earthbending effect part. It seems quite big, actually. And you can see the other half of this in the Book 1 Aang. It kind of raises up at the end. So that's fitting for Toph, who uses her feet a lot when she earthbends. I wonder, will she come with anything else? I'd like to see it maybe just a boulder where you can put it on the stand next to her. That'd be pretty cool as well. But yeah, like I said, some interesting choices. It's definitely not what I would have predicted. Like, I could see the idea of, like, okay, they do one redo character across 2 waves, but, like, the fact that we have 2 more Aangs, to me, is a little odd. Azula and Ozai ultimately, I think, make sense, but, like, 2 extra Aangs instead of, say, like, Suki or someone, instead of Iroh, there are definitely some of those decisions. But I also sort of acknowledge that if they want to go into Wave 4, 5, 6, they need to keep some characters back. So they probably will be doing it like this going forward, in that Wave 4 likely won't be, say, Suki, Iroh, and, like, Ty Lee. It'd probably be more like Iroh, Book 1 Zuko, and, like, Book 3 Katara. That way they can, basically have the impact of a wave be get Iroh in this wave, but also get the other characters in different designs. So, I understand the way they sort of have to do this, because otherwise, within, like, the first 3-4 waves, all the main characters will be done, and there might not be as much interest in later waves, which are just more obscure characters. So, in general, positive, but definitely for the likes of the size of Toph's head, the sculpt on Sokka's head, and maybe the sculpt on Azula's head, they might need to go back to the drawing board a little bit, work on them a little bit more before they finalize them. But again, we don't really know what the specifics are on how different, like, an exclusive version is going to be to a retail version, what accessories come with what, that sort of stuff. We'll likely find more out as we go on. And yeah, we'll move on. The last bit of news, and it's completely new, surprised me, but it's really cool in my mind, is also from Diamond Select Toys. We're getting a statue. So we're getting this Avatar Aang statue here. It's going to retail for $49.99. Specifically, it's called Avatar Gallery Aang PVC statue. So PVC is the material, and I think it looks really good. Obviously, Aang is my favorite character. I love his Book 3 look here, of course. And I really like the way they use the transparent plastic here to get across the airbending effect. It's a nice pose. I'm not usually one for these kind of bigger scale statues, but I actually like this one because it seems reasonably priced. The sculpt is very nice, and if it's not going to be a chore to get a hold of, this is definitely something I can see myself going in on. And if they're going to do a range of statues as the years go on of, you know, noted characters at not too high a price, that's good to me. Because the problem with a lot of the statues previously was either that, like, we either got the very small Zwire Industries statues that were only like, what, $15 or something, the chibi ones, or else everything was like $120 or $350 in like the case of that Korra statue that came out. This seems like reasonable for a high quality statue that's not breaking the bank, and I think that's exactly kind of what they need to do. So that's definitely, to me, a positive for Diamond Select, in that offering something for people who maybe aren't into the action figures, don't like how the characters look with all the cuts for the articulation and stuff like that, just want a really nice version in a nice sculpt. That's exactly what this is. So definitely huge positives from me on this. And yeah, right now that is all of the information that we have so far. I don't know how much more information we will get over the course of Comic-Con. We might get confirmation about which characters are in which wave, and like dates and stuff like that as the convention goes on. I get the impression that like Diamond Select is kind of like, it's only like recently kind of like opened up, or people have started to come across it at the Toy Fair. So there will be, I think, more information that comes out, but not too much. We'll just see some more pictures, maybe a little bit of extra information confirmation. But beyond that, I don't know if like we'll hear more Funko news or anything like that. But in general, you know, very good. I think it's better than, of course, like yesterday, the anniversary, where nothing happened. At least we got some stuff today. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the news that we got here at New York Toy Fair. What are your thoughts on the Wave 2 and 3 for Diamond Select? Getting to see our first, I suppose, physical pictures of the Korra Funko Pops, and especially that new Aang statue. What are your thoughts on that? Other than that, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.